Hey, and welcome back to the channel. This is kind of going to be a different video than I normally do, so it might be a little difficult. I even got my notes here with me. Make sure I do this correctly. So I just kind of wanted to talk about the new changes that YouTube just recently made. And if you find this boring, at least you get my fish tank behind me. Hopefully you see some fish swimming around in the background, and that is entertaining, at least. So there's a couple things that I wanted to talk about in regards to YouTube just changing their prices. The background to this is they've been recently trying some new things. They've added different ads. I've seen people say that they've added like 10 non-skippable ads all at once. And that's just crazy. And they've also discussed adding 4K behind the paywall. And that's something that I've seen that they've actually implemented going forward from what I am aware of. Something else, just kind of to give a climate. So Twitch and streaming and live streaming in general has kind of been going through a change recently. Twitch has changed the structure that they pay out their affiliates and their partners, or whatever they're called. I don't do Twitch at the moment, but they changed their contract. So it used to be like a 70-30 split where the content creator or the person who's live streaming would take 70% of all profits. But that is now changed, or it'd be 70% to them and then 30% to Twitch. They recently completely changed that whole thing, and now it's a 50-50 split. And there's a lot of people that are pretty upset about that. It was generally for the bigger content creators, but if you think about it, that's a pretty good chunk of money. Something else that has been discussed and is coming about is they're actually changing Chrome so that you can't have ad blockers on. And that is coming out, I think, next year sometime early on. Chrome will not allow you to run ad blockers, which I think is extremely interesting. So in that climate is where we're at right now. We're coming out of COVID-19. It's kind of still, people are occasionally getting it, but inflation has been crazy and the microchip shortage has been nuts. But at the same time, we're also seeing amazing growth. As far as 4K video, there's been more 4K video uploaded to YouTube than ever before. You can get 4K on your phones and whatever else and get really good quality out of it. So essentially what YouTube is doing now, though, is they're upping their prices. Right now, it's not affecting those people on YouTube Premium that are on the individual plan. But anybody who's on a family plan is going to get dinged. It's going from, I think, $18 up to $21. I'm going to put a correction on the screen if I'm wrong as far as that goes. But they're upping their prices significantly as far as the family plan goes. My thoughts on that is that sucks. And I've been thinking a lot about this whole YouTube Premium and the 4K behind the paywall, and I was actually going to do a video about it. And then literally, I was thinking about doing it tomorrow, and today I was looking around and I noticed they changed this, and I was like, oh man, I gotta make this video now. This is crazy. It's crazy to see this is going on. I don't think this is gonna be only a family. I think they're going to start with the family plan, and they're going to hike up the other plans. This isn't just YouTube, though. Netflix has jacked up their prices multiple times. Everybody is jacking up their prices because 4K video, it takes a lot of space. And if your infrastructure can't hold it, what do? You have to build out a bigger infrastructure, and that's what they're having to do. And they're finding that Moore's Law, which says that about every 2 years, you're going to double the number of transistors in a microprocessor, or actually microchip correction on that one. And they're finding that is just not true. It's starting to plateau off. And if you've looked at the price of per gig for storage, it actually is kind of plateaued off as well. It was growing, prices were essentially just dropping, and then they've just plateaued off. And it's oh man, that's crazy to see that happening. So looking at this, the hope is that YouTube is going to up their game.
Oh, no! No! No!
They lack in some different areas, such as HDR content. They just don't have I guess, the infrastructure to allow HDR content. They've apparently been working on it, but that doesn't mean it's here yet. They also are lacking a lot in their audio. So hopefully those things change. My guess, probably not. Chances of that happening, very slim. It's one of those things where people are just trying to keep their head above water. With inflation the way it is, people are getting paid more money. Everything just is starting to cost a little bit more than it was before. Looking at this though, I'm thinking it's going to drive people away. Like, I think the people that were on the edge are going to be driven away. And that is a personal decision. I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I claim to be a financial advisor. But it's going to drive people away that are like, this is something that's important to me. I'd like to invest in this. And maybe now they can't do that. So how do you justify this to yourself? What is this money essentially going to? So this is going to supporting content creators. There's a chunk of it that goes to supporting content creators, but it is also the infrastructure. So content creators actually get a larger cut of people that have YouTube Premium that watch their content. And so way you can justify it to yourself is, hey, I'm supporting those people that I spend my time watching. Just the same way you go to a movie and watch the movie that somebody makes that you really enjoy. That isn't necessarily always the best. Like, sure, I want to support those people, but I want to support them the way I want to support them. I want to give my money when I want to. I don't want YouTube to come in and say, nope, this is not the way it works. The second way to justify it, and the way I personally have YouTube Premium, and the way I justify it is I figure that how many ads am I watching and what is my time worth? There's the old saying that time is money. I don't necessarily 100% agree with it. In this case, I kind of do though. What is my time worth? So if you figure that you have 1 minute of ad per day that you watch, that's a really low ballpark. It depends on the person. How much do you watch? For me, I can watch 2 hours of content if I let myself do that, or I can even watch more than that if I do. If I was watching ads, I would have a lot of ads in that time. So the question is how much do you watch per day? So what is that worth it to you? You know, are you viewing lots of content and you want to save your time and make your time valuable? So for me, looking at it, paying an individual price, that makes it worth it. My 1 hour is worth way more than what the individual price is. So for me, it makes it worth it. I hope this video gives you some information though and helps you make the decision. It's really up to you, and hopefully this video isn't too bad. If you've made it this far in the video, I'd ask that you would like and subscribe. Put a comment down below what you think. Is this YouTube just stealing from people? Or is this justified? Is YouTube trying to stay afloat? Is this something that's worthwhile keeping out? I appreciate your time, and we'll catch you in the next one.